Assalamualaikum to Madam Fatin and my fellow friends. My name is Nur Shazliana binti M. Ramli. I am from JCDIM 2465A. My ID number is 2022464894. Today I would like to present about my individual assignment. The title is The Optimism-Pessimism Rule. Okay, so first we're gonna start with introduction. The optimism-pessimism rule explains how decision makers assess uncertain outcomes based on their beliefs about probabilities, distinguishing between optimistic and pessimistic attitudes. Optimistic decision makers assign higher probabilities to favorable outcomes, leading to a convex utility function and a preference for riskier options. Pessimistic decision makers focus on unfavorable outcomes, resulting in a concave utility function and a tendency to avoid risk. This distinction is seen in the utility functions both in objective terms, risk aversion, and subjective beliefs, influencing economic behavior and preferences under uncertainty. Next, we're going to move to the components or characteristic or criteria of respective area. The first one is the utility function is a fundamental component that represents a decision maker's preferences over outcomes. It captures how a decision maker values different monetary prices or outcomes reflecting their risk attitude. In this case, it directly influences the decision maker's decision-making process and also the choice of uncertain situations. We're gonna move to the second one, which is probability assessments. Optimistic decision makers tend to overestimate likelihood of favorable events, while pessimistic decision makers may underestimate these probabilities. The distinction in probability assessments can lead to different decision-making behaviors, even when the underlying objective probabilities are the same. The paper emphasizes that these subjective probability distortions are essential for understanding the decision maker's behavior and can be modeled to reflect their attitudes toward uncertainty. The third one is behavioral implications. For instance, optimistic decision makers may engage in riskier investments or choices, believing that the chances to success are higher than they objectively are. In contrast, pessimistic decision makers might avoid certain opportunities altogether, fearing potential losses more than they value possible gains. These behaviors can significantly impact market dynamics as they collect attitudes of decision makers toward risk and uncertainty influence economic outcomes, investment strategies, and overall market. The next one is example practice of respective area. The first example is in the financial markets, investors often exhibit optimistic or pessimistic behaviors based on their expectations of future market performance. For instance, an optimistic investor may believe that a particular stock will rise significantly due to favorable market conditions or company performance. This belief may lead them to invest heavily in that stock despite potential risks. Conversely, a pessimistic investor might focus on the possibility of market downturns or economic instability, leading them to avoid stock altogether or invest in safer assets like bond or gold. This behavior reflects the optimism-pessimism rule. The second example is in health decisions. For example, a person who is optimistic about their health may underestimate the risk associated with unhealthy behaviors, such as smoking or poor diet, believing that they are less likely to suffer negative health consequences. This could lead to continued engagement in these behaviors. On the other hand, a pessimistic individual might overestimate the likelihood of adverse health outcomes, leading them to avoid necessary medical procedures or screening out of fear, even when the actual risks are manageable. This illustrates how subjective beliefs about health outcomes can significantly impact personal health decisions. Last example is in project management. Team leaders and managers often exhibit optimism or pessimism when estimating project timelines and outcomes. An optimistic project manager may underestimate the time and resources required to complete a project, believing that everything will go smoothly. Meanwhile, the pessimistic manager might overestimate the challenges and risks involved, leading to overly cautious planning and missed opportunities for innovation. Understanding these tendencies can help organizations better manage expectations and improve project outcomes. In conclusion, the optimism-pessimism rules helps to explain how the decision makers handle uncertainty based on their beliefs and probabilities and also outcomes. It also highlights how individual perception affect behavior in areas like finance, health, and also project management. Optimistic decision makers embrace risk and pursue aggressive strategies, while pessimistic ones adopt cautious. It will develop an effective strategies in uncertain environment. Understanding optimism and also pessimism will improve in making decisions and also outcomes in both personal and also professional contexts. That's all from me. Thank you.